Yes, I'm in my closet. So, if you know me, you know that I absolutely love Black history. A few months ago, I had an epiphany. I was sitting thinking, I was like, what happened to the days of Black history facts, like just random facts? Back in the day, Tom Joyner used to do a segment every morning on his radio show that was little known Black history facts. Well, Tom Joyner's been off the air now for what, 10 years? So I said, be the changer you seek. You're the elder now. You're the aunties. It's up to you to keep it going. They passed the baton to us. It's up to us to keep it going. So every day in the month of February, I'm going to post something about a historical figure, period of time, a fact, something around Black history. Celebrate Black History Month, one of my favorite months of the year. Okay, it's February 1st. The first person of the month is known as the father of Black history, Carter G. Woodson. I tried to do a little video to try and give a little brief synopsis of his life. I can't. He's done too much. He's done too much. Very interesting man. He was everything. So just read the slide, read the info on there if you get a chance. Google him. Britannica.com had a very good article about him. Read the info on the slide. Just know that he was the father, or is the father, of Black history. And what we know really as current Black history, or the foundation of it, the teachings and the promotion of it, is really owed to him. So yay him. We thank you, sir. All right. Happy Black History Month. It's February 3rd. Today's guest of honor is the incomparable Beyonce. As many of you know, she won 3 Grammy Awards last night, including the coveted Album of the Year. She also announced her Cowboy Carter Radio Chitlin Circuit Tour. Whoop whoop! She's a singer, songwriter, dancer, philanthropist, director, producer. What else? She's all. She's all. She's done it all. She is all. 8 studio albums, solo studio albums, that is not included any soundtracks, any collab albums, or any Destiny's Child albums. 7 tours. One of the best-selling artists of all time. Artists, period, man or woman. She's a visionary, a triple threat, a trendsetter. She's that girl. I present to you today's Black history figure, present and future, Beyonce. See you tomorrow. It's February 5th. Today's guest of honor is the wonderful, outstanding journalist Gwen Ifill. Ms. Ifill worked in print and television journalism for close to 40 years. She had plenty of firsts, plenty of accolades, but let's note the type of person she was. Her sudden passing in 2016 shocked the world. Lots of colleagues, dignitaries, friends, viewers, fans expressed their appreciation for her. One colleague said she was the fundamental reason public media is considered a trusted window on the world. Another colleague and friend said that you could read by the light of her smile. One editor told the story of how early in her career Ms. Ifill encouraged her and gave her the push she needed to keep going. Told her, you can do this, you got this. These are just 3 stories that I can find, but truth be told, everything that I found, everybody talked about her with such reverence, such beautiful tales that they had of her. And it just goes to show you, it's not what you say to people, but it's how you make them feel. And she did that for us all. Thank you, Miss Ifill. Thank you much. You were a true trailblazer. Have you or a family member ever donated blood? What about received blood? Well, you can thank a Black man for that. Today's guest is known as the father of the blood bank, the brilliant physician and surgeon, Dr. Charles Richard Drew. Dr. Drew had many accolades, many firsts. His entire life's work was dedicated to the study of blood. His academic and professional career is quite amazing and is a true testament of what's for you is for you. Even without the accolades, awards, and firsts, Dr. Drew believed his greatest contribution to medicine was training young black surgeons. He truly advocated for them and promoted their growth by paying for conferences, providing recommendations, personally searching for training opportunities. And isn't that truly important in the grand scheme of things? You can get all these accolades, these high positions, but if you don't reach down to help the younger people, the next generation, what is it all for? Remember, each one, teach one, lift as you climb. We continue to use a lot of the advancements that Dr. Drew discovered and established today in blood banking. Thank you, Dr. Drew. You are a true treasure. We are forever grateful for you and your achievements. What did LeVar Burton tell us to do? Didn't he say to take a look is in a book? He sure did. Who doesn't love books and the library? I know I do. Today's guest of honor manages the largest library in the world. Dr. Carla Hayden is the nation's 14th Librarian of Congress. She's the first Black person and the first woman to do so. She's responsible for managing the largest library in the world with over 173 million items. She also manages the U.S. Copyright Office. Dr. Hayden was very prepared for this arduous path. She's been a librarian since 1973, and prior to her appointment in 2016, she was the CEO of the Baltimore Public Library System. Dr. Hayden has dedicated her life to educating the public by way of libraries. Libraries are a crucial part of any community. Go get your library card. And thank you, Dr. Hayden, for your contributions. See y'all tomorrow. It's February 7th. Today's guest of honor are the Tuskegee Airmen. Trained at the Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama, they were a group of military personnel who fought during World War II. They were known as America's first black military pilots. In total, 992 pilots were trained and 355 pilots were deployed in combat. They were nicknamed the Red Tails due to the red colorings on the tail of their airplanes and were often asked for by name by a lot of the Allied forces. By the end of World War II, they had flown 15,000 sorties and played a critical role in protecting Allied bombers over Europe. The group earned several military awards and medals, including Purple Hearts, Bronze Stars, and Distinguished Flying Crosses. Their existence and work led to the desegregation of the U.S. military. Despite the racism and terrible treatment they experienced, they still excelled. Thank you, Tuskegee Airmen. We salute you. Happy Super Bowl Sunday! Today's guest can't stay long, and neither can I. Got a game to watch. I'm just giving names, but go look up the details for yourself. Let's get into black QBs. Willie Thrower was the first QB to play a game in 1953. Marlon Briscoe was the first black QB to start a game in 1968. And Doug Williams was the first black QB to start and win a Super Bowl back in 1988. So basically, Willie crawled so that Marlon could walk, so that Doug could run, so that Jalen can fly. Fly, Eagles, fly! Woo! Let's go! I'm back. It's February 11th. Today, let's talk about artists who contributed to this year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl 59. Did you happen to look at the Super Bowl logo or the Super Bowl art? Well, that was created by 26-year-old Taj Williams, a New Orleans native. She's the first artist, man, woman, black, or white, to create a Super Bowl logo outside of the NFL team. Her hand-sewn beadwork was featured on digital game tickets, the official program cover, and on the grand display on the exterior of the Hyatt Regency New Orleans. I've loaded some photos here. Quite beautiful work. It was all hand-sewn, which is really neat, and it captured the spirit of New Orleans. Quite festive. Our next guest I'm especially proud of because he's family. Curtis Barr Collins, my niece's husband, painted the artwork on the planes that flew over the Super Bowl. Talk about family pride and black man excellence. And do you see the artwork and the detail? We're so proud of him. Super Bowl 59 was definitely one for the books. Lift every voice and sing. Today is February 12th, the 125th anniversary of the first performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing. The song, as we now know it, started off as a poem written to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's birthday. It was created by James Weldon Johnson, and it was first performed by 500 black elementary school students. James's brother J. Rosman Johnson later composed music to put it to the poem. The brothers forgot about the song, later moved to New York, and was very shocked to find out about its influence. Those children continued to sing around town, performing around town and in churches. They grew up, they became teachers, they taught it to their students, to their children. And before you know it, back in 1919, the NAACP dubbed it as the Black National Anthem. Lift Every Voice and Sing has become a rallying cry for the black community. I know it is for me. On this day and every day, make sure to lift every voice and sing. It's Valentine's Day. So today I wanted to showcase Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis's beautiful love story. But then I started thinking to myself, let's do other celebrities too. Celebrities like J&B, Pauletta and Denzel, Jalen and Bree, Malcolm and Betty, Savannah and LeBron, and countless others. I even thought about including me in my honey bun. I thought to myself, black love isn't just a romantic love. It's a love between moms and dads with their children, parents, sisters, brothers, siblings, aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins, friends, co-workers who become friends. Black love is love for ourselves, our communities, the arts, the movement. Black love is everything. Black love is revolutionary. So remember, today and all days, you are black love. Happy Valentine's Day. Today's guest is the incomparable Maya Angelou. I recently read one of her books and it enriched my soul, but it made me wonder, why hadn't I read anything from her before? She was truly a phenomenal woman. And possibly say everything that she's done. I got a few details there, but let's listen to Oprah tell us about her. I think it's just quintessentially her.
She is a teacher. And of course she's a poet. She has won 3 Grammys, speaks 6 languages, and was the second poet in history to recite a poem at a presidential inauguration. But what is most impressive to me about Maya Angelou is not what she has done or written or spoken, it's how she has done it all. She moves through the world with unshakable calm, confidence, and a fiery, fierce grace and abounding love. That is why she is a master.
She was just everything. Thank you, Miss Angelou.
I opened that hotel for him.
And broke the color barrier.
And broke the color barrier
in Miami
there.
Beach.
Yes, yes.
My God.
It was something.
Today's guest of honor is the gorgeous Joyce Bryant. Miss Bryant was a singer and dancer during the 1940s and 50s. At one point was known for making up to $200,000 per year. That's the equivalent of like $2.5 million today. She was the first dark-skinned black woman in mainstream media and was most known for her silver hair. She decided to paint her hair silver on a whim one night after discovering she'd have to open for Josephine Baker. She wanted to look snazzy, so she grabbed some radiator paint and got to work. Talk about innovation. Here's a quick video.
Oh, this love will last for years may come.
Wasn't she quite the belter? Thank you, Miss Bryant. We salute you. It's been rough, but I'm back. Today's guest is the American fashion designer Patrick Kelly. Born in Vicksburg, Mississippi, Mr. Kelly moved to Atlanta, to New York City, to Paris to pursue a dream of fashion. As a child, he was inspired after his grandmother brought home a fashion magazine and he knows there were no black people in it. He wanted to change that. He pushed radical racial and cultural boundaries, such as using black models, using pregnant models for his shows, and also using gollywogs within the design of his garments. He's the first American and first black person to be admitted to the Chambre Syndicale.
Chambre Syndicale.
He truly understood fashion and the importance of making women pretty. He always said, I want my clothes to make you smile.
I hope when they think about me, they think about being happy. You know, because there's so much sadness in the world. And if you can stick a button on something or a funny hat, I'm the one for you.
His collections were definitely unique, and I would dare say even ahead of their time. He definitely paved the way for tons of fashion lovers and black fashion designers. Thank you, Mr. Kelly. You are appreciated. Today's guest is the wonderful Emmy Award-winning, Peabody Award-winning, and Pulitzer Prize Award-winning investigative reporter, Nicole Hannah-Jones. Ms. Hannah-Jones is a New York Times reporter and also a Howard University Knight Chair. She investigates racial injustices and inequality, particularly regarding housing discrimination and segregation of desegregation of our schools. She has become known for the 1619 Project. 1619 Project discusses the Black experience and the legacy of slavery in America since the year 1619, which is documented as the first year that enslaved Africans were brought over to Virginia. The project went on to become a magazine, a book, a children's book, a 6-part docuseries on Hulu, and also a podcast. I've got the book, but unfortunately, it has now become a banned book in several states. I personally think she's exceptional, and a few years ago, me and my bestie went to see her speak in Atlanta on MLK Day. She's quite incredible. Thank you, Ms. Hannah-Jones, for your integrity and the work that you do for our community. We definitely salute you, and we appreciate you. Did you know the first paramedics in the U.S. were 25 black men from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Now you know. Today's guests are the Freedom House paramedics. The men were recruited, took a 9-month training program, and took their first call in June of 1968. They received almost 6,000 calls in their first year and saved over 200 lives. They became known for their high standard of care, and it became a point where people were calling and requesting for them by name. Freedom House paramedics. They're the first paramedics in the U.S. to intubate a patient in the field, read and send an EKG en route to a hospital, shock a heart in the field, and use Narcan to reverse a drug overdose in the field. The Freedom House paramedics prove that ordinary people can be trained in emergency care to save lives. Thank you to the Freedom House paramedics and everyone who helped to establish their existence. We thank you. You are Black history. You are American history. You are medical history. We salute you all.
The foundation of every EMS service in this country began at Freedom House Ambulance Service.
I especially enjoyed my Black History Month series. I planned on doing one every day, but as we saw, I wasn't able to do that, which made me feel kind of bad and feel like a failure. But then I was like, you've done well. I think I did maybe a total of 20, which is pretty good. It's a good goal. It takes so much to put it together between coming up with the person, thinking about it, researching the person, then reading about it, reading all over the internet, then recording, editing, putting it all together. It takes 3 to 5 hours sometimes. That's a lot out of my day to do. So I'm going to continue the project, but maybe just put it out like once a week randomly. I'm not going to put a day on it because I don't want to give myself too much pressure. But if you tuned in and watched, I hope that you learned something. That was my goal, was for people to learn something, to be excited about Black history, to be excited about history. So thank you for everyone who gave me compliments or gave me a hoorah, because that was just what I needed to continue on. So remember, Black history is American history. Woo-woo!